a nice shot. My hair's a wreck. Lord. I spend all that time on my hair just to have it look like crazy. Hello loves, nice to see you again. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Christine. I do lifestyle If you're new here, my name's Christine. I do lifestyle videos, some makeup tutorials. I'm not a makeup artist, but I really enjoy and love makeup and use it as kind of like my therapy. And I also do some vlogging, some unboxings of some subscription boxes that we get every month. So lots of different things. So if you enjoy it, please subscribe, ring that bell, and also please give this video a thumbs up if you're here watching and you didn't hate it. Please. Thank you. Today we're doing a very affordable makeup look. And usually I have at least something on my face when I start my videos, and today I didn't do that specifically because I have some base products from a very affordable company that I'd like to talk about. So you get to see everything, all of my breakouts. Yes, still getting breakouts. I don't understand. I really do try and take very good care of my skin, and sometimes it just happens. I don't know. So today we're going to be talking about a company that I have mentioned in my videos before, and this is not sponsored. They don't know me. They didn't send me these things. I bought them myself. But it's a company that I've used quite a few of their products and really have been enjoying. And if you are trying to do your beauty on a budget, like a lot of us are, then you need to know about this company and how good and really good quality their products are. So we're going to start right at the beginning. I have already done all of my skincare, so we are going to go in with some primers. Now, I do not have a primer from this company, but I would like to. I will be going back and purchasing one to give that a try. But I do have some affordable options here that I think are really good and that you might enjoy as well. So what I usually do is I kind of use two primers. One primer is usually a hydrating primer because I have extremely dehydrated skin. I'm not really sure because I haven't been to an esthetician, but I think that my skin is probably normal to oily even, but it's very dehydrated a lot of the time. I am very dehydrated a lot of the time. No matter how much water I seem to gulp down, I still am dehydrated. So this is a nice dewy primer by Wet n Wild, and that is the name. It's just their dewy face primer. And it's also very affordable. I want to say this is under $5 and can be easily found at Walmart and CVS, Rite Aid, all of your usual drugstore areas. I think they have some of the items at Target even as well. So this one leaves your skin feeling nice and hydrated. And I'm going to try to avoid my eyebrows because clearly I already put those on. But everywhere else, I will apply that primer. And I don't really rub hard into my skin. I kind of just swipe it on and then press it into the skin. And it feels nice and hydrating. I like that one. It leaves you with this nice, gentle glow. It's not a really hugely, I mean, you can't see it a lot unless you're looking up close, and especially under foundation, it's not like you look like a Tin Man or anything. Just a nice glow. So then I also use a pore filling primer because I do tend to have a lot of larger pores right around my nose area. This one is from a company called Makeup Obsession, and this one can be found at makeupobsession.com and also at Target. And Target is where I found mine. I'm using the Picture Perfect one today, and it is their Pore Blurring Primer. It's in a cutie package with silver top, and it's pink, and it works very well as a pore blurring primer. And then I will just go ahead and apply that to the areas where I would normally have larger pores and I would like my makeup to go on even more smooth. And then I usually put a little bit in the T-zone area as well, because it does seem to help to mattify it a little bit. I don't tend to go for mattifying anything, not primers, not foundation, but like I said, I can get a little shiny in especially the forehead area and around my nose, so I like that primer for that. That again, I don't know the exact price. Everything that I mention is always listed in my description box, and I do believe that one's under $5 as well. So then, kind of the star of the show today is going to be our foundation. Before I do my foundation, and this might be backwards for some people, and sometimes I even have to apply more after I put on the foundation, but I go in with my corrector, and today I'm going to be using the NYX, and quite frankly, this is the one I use every day. I've heard really good things about one by Benefit, but this is a dark circle corrector, and another one by Becca, but this is a very affordable one at the drugstore. You can find NYX at Walmart, so I'll be using that one today. And it is their dark circle corrector, and it's kind of a peachy tone, kind of a peachy flesh tone, and I take that on a brush and just put it where I have dark circles, because it doesn't seem to matter, once again, whether I sleep 5 hours or 14, I still have dark circles. I'm lucky that way. Okay, so I will apply that then to my dark circles, and I'm hoping you can see the effect of it on camera. Sometimes these lights tend to wash me out some. I can turn it down a little bit, but for a very affordable product, actually for any price of a product, even if this was a very inexpensive product, which to me, sometimes drugstore is not inexpensive. It depends on what your budget is. Okay, so somebody who has to buy food first before they can buy any makeup, you know my pain, and you're looking for things that are inexpensive but still work. That's what you want, right? So I use that first, and then I go in and touch up a bit on my blemishes before I put on my foundation. Maybe that's backwards, I don't know, and sometimes, like I said, I have to still touch it up, but today I'm using the e.l.f. HD Lifting Concealer. This is a very affordable concealer. e.l.f. Products in general are very inexpensive. They're easily found at your local Walmart, and online they have a huge website that carries so many different products, and I'll tell you, it's far and few between that I'll find something from e.l.f. that doesn't work out for me perfectly fine. So just because it's cheaper doesn't mean it's not really good quality. So I take this, and this is in their fairest shade. Their shade range, frankly, it's not great. It's just not great. But if you're using it as an under foundation concealer to help conceal some blemishes, perhaps you can finagle a couple of shades, because I want to say this was $3. For $3 you can buy 2 of them for less than you could buy another brand's concealer and maybe make them work for you. You know what I mean? This is where I go in and cover up any blemishes or any dark marks that I don't want, that are really standing out, and I think that they may need some help. And then I take a brush, which I think has worked out better for me for the concealer than a sponge. It seems to keep the coverage better for me. So that's just what I use. And it's difficult to talk when you're making weird faces, but I'll try. The redness around my nose is not from blemishes. These ones are. I tend to get a lot of blemishes around my, not my cheekbone area, but the jawline, I'm sorry, the jawline area, and even down here. I don't know what that's from. If anybody has any ideas for me or anything that I can possibly do, I would love some recommendations in the comments, because I am tired of having breakouts. I'll go through periods where my skin is so nice and then it just goes down the toilet. I hate it. So once I've done that, I then get out my Believe Beauty Skin Finish Foundation. Is this packaging not gorgeous? This is $5. It's in a glass bottle, gold writing, beautiful pump. This is the top. It is plastic, but it has a really cool design on it. Like, it's shaped really neat. It's very heavy. I'm using the shade Noon. Yes, I'm using the shade Noon. I'm using the shade Nude. I will do 2 pumps on the back of my hand, warm it up a little bit with my finger, and then dot it around. I have noticed I'm not used to doing my brows first. And there is a good chance that I made a mistake by not doing my eyes first, because the palette that I'm using I've never touched before. I have no idea what the quality is like in this palette. I could end up with it all over my face. This is a chance I'm taking, I guess. Also, I have a sponge from that same Believe Beauty brand that's found at Dollar General. And it looks like this. It is a nice big size, which I love. Some people don't like that. It has 2 flat sides and it's got a flat top. I've been using this for a while now. It cleans up really well. It's nice and spongy. This is my Tarte sponge. It is softer than the Believe Beauty one, definitely. Believe Beauty is much bigger. I don't know. I'm one of those people that I'm not really. It's about the same size as the Sonia Kashuk face and body one. This is her big one, and I love this sponge. She's my baby. She's probably my favorite sponge. But this works perfectly fine, and again, inexpensive. So then I'm gonna go in, being very careful around my eyebrows, and not getting any on my eyelids because I've already applied a primer to my eyelids. It is the Ulta Beauty Matte Eye Primer, and I've really been enjoying it. But I did have to return one of the shades to the store. They were very, very nice about it. It was too dark, and I knew I couldn't make it work. So I returned it, and they were very gracious about it, and I got the right shade. Again, is their shade range huge? No, it's not. I hope that's something that they really and truly work on. It's not right that anybody can't go in and buy this foundation. I get that, I do. This day and age, it should be automatic that they have a nice big shade range for everyone, but we aren't quite there yet. So, like the sponge, I think it really does a nice job of blending in the foundation. The foundation blends in beautifully. It has not aggravated my skin, because I've used this foundation when my skin has been good, when it has been not so great, and I don't think that is what is aggravating my skin. Sometimes I think the more stressed I get, it does come out in my skin. So that could be the case. I'm a little bit stressed lately, holidays and all. I don't know about you, but I immediately want to get the foundation off of my lips. I hate it. Okay. Now, another one of my very good finds at the Walmart or a drugstore has been some of their powders. For the longest time, the only under eye setting powder that I would use is the e.l.f. under eye setting powder. I love it. It's my baby. It's in sheer. It is so finely milled. It is a white in color, so it brightens very nicely, but not too much. It doesn't look like you barely have any powder on your skin. It's gorgeous. So we'll be using that next, but first, I take a look at my blemishes and see if they do need any more of a touch-up. I mean, there's only so much you can do. They're giant red spots. It is what it is, you know. Everybody gets them. It's not anything surprising or shocking. Today, for my under eye concealer though, I'm going to be using the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer. First of all, look at that packaging. That is gorgeous. I love it. It's got rose gold on it. I like the Flower brand an awful lot. It is a little bit pricier than some of the other things that I found at Walmart and drugstores, but I really like this concealer, specifically for under my eyes because it feels very hydrating. It has good coverage, but at a nice thin, lightweight consistency, which I like because I am in my 40s and I have sometimes crepey looking under eyes, and I don't care for it. They need to stay nice and hydrated. Now, the only thing I do not like using this sponge for is my under eye because there's not a really nice point tip on it to get right up there in the corner. So I will switch to my Tarte sponge for that. Just like that. It blends out like a dream. They did not have a big selection as far as shade range went at my Walmart. I'm hoping that it's better online. I should have checked that before I got on here. I'm terribly sorry. But if you are someone with dry skin or dry under eyes, this is a real winner for me. It took me a while to find this. Everybody was raving about the e.l.f. Camo Concealer and saying that it was a dupe for Shape Tape, which I still have not tried because it's a really thick, super full coverage concealer, and I just don't particularly like that, the way it looks on my under eyes. I just don't. I don't like that thick look. I've used other ones that were very, very thick and very full coverage and didn't care for it, so I didn't want to. It is on my list of things to try, for sure, but I wasn't going to pay for a full price on that. Well, it's not luxury, it's like that middle brand, you know. It's not drugstore, but it's not exactly luxury makeup, but it is pricey for me in my budget, so I just didn't want to do that knowing that there's a good chance I won't like it. So I haven't bit the bullet to do that yet, but I do have it in my plans. So again, I'm using the e.l.f. HD Under Eye Setting Powder, and it's white. There is a hair or something tickling my chin. Just take a little bit on that same Tarte on the other side of the Tarte sponge and lay that down in my under eyes to set that concealer in place. It's a very dewy, very hydrating concealer, so I do feel like I need to set it down to keep it in place. But for myself, I don't notice. I mean, I have creases. You're gonna see them. I have creases. That's my under eyes. So I don't expect something to be completely and totally flawless and non-creasing under there. I just don't. I guess that's just something that I've gotten used to. But I have used some powders that make it look very cakey and more wrinkled than I care to have. So this isn't one of them. And I went through a lot of powders before I found this one. I read a lot of recommendations. Now I have currently found another one that I love just as much, except for the price tag. And that is the, it just came out not that long ago. That's the Becca Brightening Under Eye Setting Powder. I love it too. And we need some lip balm. My lips are dry as a bone. This is the Physicians Formula Organic Lip Wear Treatment. Very hydrating, very nice. It has a very heavy packaging and it screws closed, so it's really good to throw that in your purse to have. And it does feel really good on the lips. So, we've done the under eyes. What about the rest of the face, you say? Well, I don't want to use my precious, beautiful e.l.f. Cosmetics Under Eye Setting Powder because look at the tiny little thing it comes in. Still inexpensive, but it is teeny weeny and tiny. I don't want to waste it on my whole face. I found another one that I do enjoy that is affordable as well, and that is the Collab Set the Stage Loose Setting Powder. I like this powder. It's really good. I got the shade Porcelain. Again, it's very finely milled. It's inexpensive. You can find this at Sally Beauty stores. And I'm not sure if you can find this online or not. But this sponge from Dollar General, the Believe Beauty brand, works really good with powders as well. So I just switch to a different side, take a little bit of the powder on my damp sponge, and then just press it to set the rest of that foundation in place. I do not use a lot, but this powder doesn't make my face feel tight. It's very comfortable. It does help with oil production, keeps my face from getting too shiny, keeps my makeup from sliding off, and that's it. That's all I use. I don't go powder bonkers. I don't do any baking. I don't usually carve out my contour unless I got a little crazy and I need to fix it. So that's, as far as setting powders go, that's about as far as I go with it. So next, we're going to move on to, like I said, contour. So I have found the perfect and inexpensive product to contour my cheeks with. And my only beef with it is that it is in a palette, so I have to pop it out of the palette because I don't want the palette taking up space in my drawer. But then I don't think it's magnetic. I think it's all plastic anyway. And then I have to just throw it in my drawer so that it takes up less space. But the shade of this is perfect for me, so I can't get rid of it and I can't stop using it because I love it. It is the most beautiful, cool toned contour powder I've come across, and it's by e.l.f. Cosmetics. It comes in a quad and it's called their contour palette, and this is what it looks like. It is a beautiful cool toned shade of contour and I love it. The shade reminds me a lot of Anastasia's Mink contour stick. It's kind of in that same nice cool realm, and it's perfect. I'm so happy that I came across it. I can't even tell you. My problem is that, guess what? I don't like anything else really in that whole contour palette. I'm sorry, I just don't. I've tried to use the other powders because I don't like to waste things. I've still got the quads, now there are two, in my makeup collection sitting because I popped the contour out and the other three shades are in there and I don't want to use them. I know that's awful and I can't throw them away because that would be very wasteful. I'm gonna have to find somebody that they work for, that's all. So I take this contour shade on a nice flat brush, okay? You're also gonna see a lot of brushes in this video that are probably from the drugstore and or places like TJ Maxx. I do have sets of other brushes. I'm sure you've seen me, if you watched any of my other videos, you've seen me use my sets from Morphe, which I tend to like to use because I can tell you exactly the number so that if you wanted to look up that brush you could. These ones are a little harder to do that, so I try to use the Morphe ones, but this is my favorite contour brush of all time over any that I've ever used. It's called the Flat Contour and it's by Risque Beauty, and I got it at TJ Maxx and it is perfection. I love it. Needs washed, definitely. So I keep that back towards my ear, and it just, on my skin tone, makes the most perfect contour shade. It makes this beautiful shadow and I love it. So that will probably be something, this little weird looking thing will be in my collection until I find something that is better in a powder form. I have several cream contours that I use and love very much. The Anastasia one is beautiful. The Kokie cream contour palette in Deep is beautiful. I just need to find, or hey, e.l.f. Cosmetics, listen, take that contour shade and put it in a palette by itself. Sell me that. I will buy a dozen of them up front. I need them in my life. That would be absolutely perfect for me. I don't need anything else. I don't want it in a palette, just a single, and it has to be that exact same shade because I have bought other contour products and bronzers from e.l.f. and they are not the same shade. They are just not the same. This is the one. So I shouldn't have said that out loud and put it in the universe. Now they'll probably stop making this stinking thing and then I'll be out. They wouldn't do that to me. would you? No. Okay. So let's move on with our products. Another one of my faves from the drugstore, Physician Formula. I love their brand. I love their products, and this is one of my staples in my makeup collection. Again, this is their butter bronzer. I have a lot of different shades right now because I'm a little lighter toned than I am in the summer. I'm using bronzer, and it not only is a beautiful bronzer shade, but also it smells like a summer vacation. So I love it. Every time I smell it, it reminds me of beaches and summer and sunshine and heat. So I take a little bit of that on my, just says True Beauty on it. This is another find from TJ Maxx. I just wanted something that was a little thinner with a bit of a pointy top for my bronzer, and I found it at TJ Maxx. Again, they're not sponsoring me. They don't know I exist other than I go to the store quite a bit. So the local people who work there probably know who I am. But yeah, I love this brush. I've gotten so many really nice brushes at TJ Maxx for a much more affordable price. So once in a while they'll even have some from companies, you know, that I actually have heard of. I did see a video on YouTube not that long ago from one of my faves, Champagne Taste on a Beer Budget. I watch her videos quite a bit because she takes trips to TJ Maxx and Marshalls, and she does the BoxyCharm spoilers and things. So give her a look. She's really good. But yeah, she's found some Sigma brushes in one of her Marshalls, and wow, that would be so sweet. We do have a TJ Maxx. We do not have a Marshalls in my local area. There's probably one not that far away, but haven't made it there yet this holiday shopping season. The next brush though is a Moda, which you can find at Walmart, and I love the Moda brushes. They do not come apart. They wash beautifully. They are so super soft. If you don't have any Moda brushes and you're looking for something a little more affordable, sometimes they're even on clearance at Walmart. I'm using a product from Target. It's Pixie by Petra. It is their Beauty Blush Duo in Rose Gold, and it includes a blush and a really pretty soft, natural looking highlight. And so you'll need a smaller blush brush, so you don't, unless you want to mix them, which is fine too if you like a glowier blush. I'm trying to keep them separated today. So this is their Rose Gold Duo. Once again, I really like Pixie products. They're a little more expensive than, say, your e.l.f. or your possibly like Makeup Revolution products, but they are very good quality products. I've not had a single thing from them either that I don't like. So you really can do a beautiful face full of makeup on a budget. You can do it if you look and you shop and you watch for sales. A lot of times our Rite Aid will have buy one get one free or buy one get one half off on their L'Oreal or CoverGirl products. So watch out for those kinds of sales. Yeah, we're not going to go crazy with the blush because I am not even going anywhere today. This is purely for the video. So, done and done. This is another Moda brush. Right now it's one of my very favorite highlighting brushes. It's so nice, so soft. Love it. I want to say I got the Moda brushes. It might have been in one of my BoxyCharm or BoxyLuxe. I'm not sure. Some of those kinds of subscriptions, if you can afford it. I hope that's picking up on camera. That is such a pretty, it's not a boom in your face kind of a highlight, and I like to really buff it in so that it's not so blinding. I'm sure that you can build this up to be a blinding highlight, but it also gives you a really nice, just a really subtle kind of a glow, and I like that. I also like a nose highlight. You can totally skip that if you don't like it. It's cool. I'll take whatever is left, put it on my forehead. I'm all glowy. So that is about it for our base products. So we're going to get into then our very pretty eye palette. My husband found this for me at Dollar General when he was kind of looking around for $3 the other day. It is by a company that I hadn't heard of yet. It's called Color Spell, and the name of the palette is Atlantis. It's an 18 shade eyeshadow palette, and I thought it looked really pretty. Let's open it up. I haven't done anything with this palette yet. As a matter of fact, it's still taped shut. So this is what it looks like. It does not have a mirror, which, to be honest, that doesn't really bother me a whole lot because I use a mirror when I'm doing my makeup anyway. It's really, really pretty. The shades are beautiful. I think we're going to stick in the more fall side of it and not get too much into the blues and greens for today, but we're just going to give this thing a run because $3, that would be an awesome stocking stuffer for somebody that really loves makeup. I'm not saying that the staying power is going to be awesome. I honestly don't have any idea what this palette is going to be like today, but we are going to give it a shot because it's beautiful. Another Moda brush. This one I think came in the same set. It's a really nice fluffy brush, so I'm going to go in with that first. I have, like I said, already put primer on my eyelids, and we are ready to go. I have not set the eyelids, however. So first shade I'm going to go into is kind of this tan. It's a very neutral kind of peachy tan color, and we're going to put that in the crease. If you hear like a crackling noise that sounds like popcorn, it's not. It's my candle. I have one of those crackling candles. If it's annoying to you, put that in the comments as well. I won't have it on again. I would have a crackling fireplace in here if I could, but there's no room for one. Well, I can tell you that it is showing up. There is pigmentation. It's blending out nicely. Again, we're not going to go for a wild, we're just going to go for an everyday kind of neutrally fall look. There's a beautiful mustard yellow in here I'd really like to see sometime. But today we're going to keep it in more of the maroon brown family because I picked up a gel liner from Believe Beauty and also a liquid liner from Believe Beauty, and I'm going to use those, and they're both in kind of a maroon purpley kind of a color, so we're gonna stick to the kind of neutrally colors. We can try those out. Like I said, this is probably going to be a longer video. I usually have to cut out either the face or the eyes and do one or the other because I can't stop talking apparently. I don't know how to make my videos shorter. I also wanted to add that on the back of this palette it says that is it distributed? Yes, distributed by Profusion, which I think if we all have been together on this little journey of mine, you would know that Profusion is a very good brand. Again, you can find that at Walmart, and they have lots and lots of, why can't I find any of my shorter brushes? This one is another one from Risque Beauty. It is more dense, shorter bristles, and I'm going to take that and choose another color that's a little bit darker. I think we're going to use this one right here to deepen up the crease a little bit. I suppose this wouldn't be a palette maybe that you would want to travel with, because it is all plastic packaging. I would be afraid that it would probably not hold up real well being bounced around. And it also doesn't have a mirror. But like I said, for $3, what a cute little stocking stuffer for somebody that's trying to build up their makeup collection and wants something with some color. I'm not sure that all of the Dollar Generals will have them in stock, but it's worth a look because I only went to the one. I didn't shop around at different Dollar Generals. I went to our local one, but next time I'm in another town, I will stop and take a look to see if they're carrying this particular palette. I'm wondering if it's going to be a holiday kind of a thing, or if that's another brand that they're going to start carrying on their shelves, because this is the only product that I saw from the Color Spell. There's just this palette, so it very likely could be just a holiday. I mean, look at that. It's performing beautifully. I don't see any patchiness. There's no issues with the blending. It's not really powdery in the pan either. But I don't see any fallout from it. You can see it's not real powdery in the pan. It's not going everywhere. So far, I'm impressed. So which one do we want to put on the lid? Like I said, we're going to keep it kind of neutral so that I can try out these other liners from Believe Beauty. So I think I'm going to go in with this one. And for me, shimmers work best with a finger. So I'm going to give these shimmers a fair shake just like I would with any other palette, and I'm going to use my finger. They do feel a little dry, I can tell you that. Ooh, but look at it. Oh, it's sparkly and beautiful. And again, still don't see any. I do have a little bit of extra foundation around my nose, but I'll tell you, my face is so dry right now, I can't blame that on the foundation at all. It just is what it is right now. I did a kind of a chemical exfoliator on my face, and it did its job, but also left the area around my nose very, very dry and peeling. So I have given the chemical exfoliators a pass for now. Give my face a break. Let's get a tiny little brush. Here we go. This one is from Luxie. It's their 246 brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit more of that color and just make sure I have it all the way down. And nicely blend it all the way to the lash line, because it's hard for me to get my fingers down in that corner. I don't know how that is showing up on camera, but in person it's very pretty. It's subtle. It's not super metallic. It's not, doesn't look like wet metal or anything, but it's very sparkly and it's pretty. So, last but not least, I'm going to take that same brush, clean it off a little bit, and there's a lighter sparkly shade in here. It's almost white. And I'm going to take just a tiny bit of that and put it in the inner corner and a tiny bit on the brow bone. See how that looks. Like I said, subtle, but pretty. It's kind of a duochrome. I think there's a little bit of maybe blue in it. Let's see what it looks like when we spray it with a little bit of setting spray. That didn't seem to do much for it. In my opinion, that shade is a little bit powdery. Not the best highlighty kind of shade I've ever had or seen, but it is highlighting, and it's not an ugly shade. It's just not as bam wow as, you know, some of my other ones, that's all. So maybe a really good palette for someone who's a beginner and is a little intimidated by those really bright ones anyway, the really metallic ones. Still did its job. Okay, so I think we're going to go ahead and try out this liner, and then we'll finish up the lower lash line. So this liner is from Believe Beauty. It is their metallic liquid eyeliner. The shade is Midnight in Paris. It is a very large looking. Oh, because of the packaging, I thought that this was maroon. You would be wrong. I should have known. Midnight in Paris. It's kind of a navy blue, I guess. Could be black, but if it's black, it's not the blackest black I've ever seen. Let's throw it on there, see how it goes, okay? So I cannot talk when I'm doing this. Sorry about that. I have to concentrate. It's not. I'm not going to do a wing liner on camera. Lord help me. I don't think I could do that today. But we're going to put just a nice thin line, hopefully. Yeah, not overly impressed with the size of it. It's kind of large, and it's a felt tip, so it's very stiff. I'm still not sure what that shade is. It's almost meant to be black, but not quite. I have lots of other liners that I definitely like better than this. That is all I'm going to say about it. Because yes, it was inexpensive, but I don't want anybody to be wasting their money either. And there are better ones from Wet n Wild, Hard Candy even. Some of your cheaper ones at Walmart that work better than this. Can't say I recommend it. Maybe the shade is supposed to be more of a like gunmetal gray. I'm not sure. Either way, I'm not a fan. I don't know, faded. And the very large tip is, well, that would be impossible for me to flick out and get a decent cat eye out of it. Nope, that's a pass for me. But let's try the gel liner on the waterline. This one is called Queen Mauve, so I was pretty sure that it was mauve, and it is. All right, so let's try this one in the waterline. That's a very pretty color. I won't know. It is showing up on the waterline. It's creamy. Doesn't hurt at all. It's nice and soft. But will it stay in place? It's going to take longer than this video to figure that out. So hopefully I'll be able to put in the description box what I think about its staying power. But for now, the color is really pretty. I wish I would. If this were not a kind of testing, reviewing kind of a video, I definitely would not have gone with this liner on top. I probably would have stuck with this one and did the top as well. See what it looks like over top of the other one. I already don't like it, right? Yeah, I think I like that better than the whatever color this was. Couldn't even tell you. Gray, blue, not black. It's softer, so if you prefer that rather than, you know, maybe for people that don't like the starkness of a deep black liner, you might like that color better. I like the Queen Mauve much better than that other one. It went on nice. I'm sure that it smudges nicely. Let's find out. Oh yeah, it doesn't dry too fast, so you could move it around and manipulate it into a wing if you needed to. yeah, that I like. Learn something new every day. Alright, so I also picked up a mascara from them, but first, from Believe Beauty, I'm sorry. But first, let's go ahead and finish up that lower lash line. So I'm going to take a nice tiny brush. This one is the e.l.f. Detail Crease Brush. I really like this brush. I have several of them now. It's nice and small. Get right in there or right under the lash line. I'm going to take that same color that we used to deepen up the crease, this one, and run that along the lower lash line. So I'll look up and just run that along the lower lash line. Now if you wanted to be more adventurous, you could definitely pick one of the other colors from the palette and add just like a pop of color down there, and that would be pretty too. I'm not one to shy away from shimmers on the lower lash line. I kind of like that look, so I think I might pick up one of the shimmers as well on a flatter brush and add that to the outer corner. Oh, the faces we make when we do that, right? It's funny. So let's grab another flatter brush. This one doesn't even have a name on it anymore. I've used it so much, but I love the shape of this brush. It is super flat on top as well. And I'm going to pick up the shade that is right next to that one. It does seem to have a little bit of shimmer in it. And it's a little darker, so I'm going to add a little bit of that to the lower lash line. Hopefully it's not too powdery. Tap it off a little bit. And just kind of add that to this outer corner. Or not, because I don't see anything. Never know. It looks beautiful in the pan. Get on my eyes, please. Okay, I see it a little bit now, but it's much prettier in the pan than it is behaving on my eyeball. So that is not my favorite shade in the whole world. It's just not very pigmented. I think that's it. I think we're going to stop there. Alright, I'm going to go off camera and do my lashes and come right back. We'll put on the mascara. It is from Believe Beauty. I have used this before and I do like it, so you'll be able to see the before of the mascara and the after. There we go. It is in the shade brown, which I really like to have sometimes, because sometimes you don't necessarily want that stark black with a look, and I think the brown looks really pretty with this. It's a little less harsh, a little softer, and this is one coat with no lash primer. So yeah, I can see my lashes, which I'll tell you are pretty non-existent. I also would like to recommend, I don't have one right now, it's on my list to buy, but I would like to recommend the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Primer. It really makes a difference. If you're someone who has thin lashes or really light lashes, that lash primer really does help the mascara to be longer, thicker, and just look so amazing. I really stand by that product. So yeah, this is a mascara that I will be using again. I like the shade of it. I like that it separated my lashes. I can show you the wand. It is one of those rubbery with all the tiny little bristles on it, but it's very flexible, so even if I had touched my eyelash or my eyelid or my eye with it, it wouldn't hurt. I have had some that have hurt. This is not one of them. This one works fine. So now we are on to lip, and then I believe we are about finished. This was a long as all get out video, but we're making it. We're getting there. This lip liner is from Rimmel. This is not anything new. I've used Rimmel liners a lot. This one is in the shade Spice. It is a sharpenable pencil. I like how it glides on. It is not, I would say it is not as soft or as creamy as a gel liner. It's not, it's a pencil liner. But it's also not so stiff that it drags and hurts you or anything. And I think this shade is really pretty. It's close enough to my lip shade that I can overline a tiny bit and get away with it. Without being too overly pink. And Rimmel is a nice affordable brand that you can again find at Walmart. You could wear that all by itself. Throw a little bit of gloss on it, it's such a pretty color. Again, that was Spice, and Rimmel, I don't off the top of my head know how much that is, but I would say it can't be more than $3 or $4. So the lippy I'm using today is by L'Oreal, and it's one of their newer ones, I believe. It's such beautiful packaging. It's got like this ombre black to me it looks more like a rose gold, and then this part is gold, and it's kind of a matte finish, so it won't show fingerprints all over it. This shade is Penny Gold, and it really does look kind of coppery like a penny, so you'll see. I'll put it on now. Do you see how pretty that looks with that lip liner? I love that shade for winter and fall. It's so pretty. And L'Oreal lipsticks are not that expensive. They're not super cheap either, but it's very creamy. Feels very hydrating and nice on the lips. It will move around. It is a bullet lipstick. It is not a liquid lip. So if you don't like that could happen, then obviously that wouldn't be for you. But there are lots of, L'Oreal has some beautiful liquid lips as well that are matte and very, very lightweight. And then I'm also going to put on top of that, because I love gloss. This one's by Maybelline. It is their Summer McKeen lip gloss. It was a collaboration, I guess, with Summer McKeen, who I want to say is here on YouTube. I'm sorry, Summer McKeen. If I had time to watch more videos, I would, but I only have so much time in the day. So this has that nice wand with the center kind of cut out, so it kind of pulls up some of the product in the center, so you don't have to keep dipping back in. And it is a pretty, kind of a, it's a bit of a baby pink, but also has gold reflect in it, which I think makes it look really pretty with this lip in particular, the other L'Oreal lipstick. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do a little bit of setting spray, and again, I have lots of favorite drugstore and affordable setting sprays. One of the ones that I'm loving right now is by Pacifica, which you can find at Ulta, I believe, and also at Target. This one is their Cherry Matte Setting Spray. If you don't like scents, you will not like this. It does smell like cherries, but it's not overpowering. It's not a sickening sweet smell. And I like the spritzer on that. It doesn't leave huge, big globs of product on your face, which I hate. And it does help with oil production, so I do like that about it as well. I've also invested in a tiny little fan that I love. It really helps with the drying time of your setting sprays and things, and I love it, especially in the summertime. It feels so good. So if you don't have one of these, I think you can find these at the Dollar Tree for $1. I'm not positive, but I don't think I paid more than $2 for mine. Either way, those are some of my tips and tricks for doing beauty on a budget. I hope that I was able to help you. I hope I gave you some ideas. Like I said, if you're looking for products like brushes and high-end, really, products at a really, really good price, check out your local Marshalls or TJ Maxx. Always look at the products, make sure that they're in good condition before you purchase them. But I have found some wonderful products for a much lower price at those places. And your local Walmart is probably one of the best places, and your local drugstores, for finding some really good products at decent prices. So I hope you had fun. Maybe you could follow along with me next time. I try to be very broad in saying this is the type of brush you could use, this is the shade I'm using, instead of you have to have this palette, you have to have these brushes, when that's clearly not true. You could make the same exact look that I just made with probably products that you already have sitting in your home. So please join me for my next video, and if you enjoyed this one, subscribe and become part of our little family here. We would love to have you. I'm so excited to start this journey, and I hope that I have many years left to enjoy my time on YouTube. So I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're happy and you're healthy wherever you are today, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.